Do you know how to make the sound of a chicken? No, like a. You have it in you. Ooh, she's sassy.
Hey, I'm Zainab.
And I'm Mia.
And welcome to another episode of Sprinkles and Spice.
And who else is done listening to TikTok dating experts?
Me, I'm done. I'm so done.
So how are the experts? I just want to know what degree, what university, where. Some of them have something. Like some of them have a certificate.
Have you seen the certificate?
I haven't.
I mean, some of them say like, oh, my client, I've helped this client, I have that client, but do we have the proof?
Where's the paperwork?
Where's the proof?
We need the paperwork.
Speaking of TikTok.
I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say?
The discourse
The
between
discourse?
Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively?
Well, other than that, did you see how like they banned it and then brought it back in the
For
US?
10 minutes?
For 10 minutes.
They had a 10-minute ban. Wait, James Charles Sound? When he's in the bunker of his bedsheets?
James Charles under his bedsheets whispering.
Hey guys, I found a hack. I don't know if I
Like
can do this.
who's coming for you? Is someone chasing you?
Why was he
Are you in
whispering?
danger? Do you need help?
Why was he whispering? And also, why was it kind of giving like a Britney Spears music video? It had that energy a little bit. Like,
Kinda
you
did.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can tell he's a Britney stan.
He loves Britney.
So speaking of Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, I know like TikTok is kind of torn, but
Yeah.
my TikTok, I'm on Justin's side.
Yeah, I'm on my For You page has decided that I'm on Justin's side too.
I'm on Justin's side. I think the people who are on Blake's side, I think they're small in number, and it's mostly, I believe, white women who are calling out people who are on Justin Baldoni's side. They're like gaslighting us into being like, "You have internalized misogyny. You are not a feminist." You know, there are those kind of women.
But it's like the thing. So I'm excited for the paperwork.
Paperwork.
I love paperwork. I'm excited for the paperwork. I'm excited for the trial to be public. I hope it's a public trial. It's going to be so good. We're going to watch all and comment. But like so far, the things that the lawyers have shown,
Yeah.
the commentary she makes, I feel like she's the one that's coming on to him.
I don't know. Allegedly. This is all alleged. But
Allegedly.
have you read how many pages is this lawsuit? It's like 40 something pages, or like, is it
40 or 400?
400? I don't know.
I don't know.
Is it double digits or triple digit?
Someone let us know.
But I know so many people on TikTok actually read the whole thing. Like they were reading, they were taking notes, and they were letting us know.
I just want to know if they have jobs, and I love them for having jobs and doing this. And even if they don't have jobs, I love them for doing this.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see because we see a lot of creators who like have switched sides.
I know.
Every week they're like switching
Ping pong.
sides. Like one time they're on Blake's side, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like we're actually on Justin's side because of the lawsuits that keep
Yeah.
coming out. Like she's suing him, and then he's suing her,
Honestly,
and New York
We're not taking
Times.
sides. We're not taking sides. We're just going to comment.
My TikTok's decided which side I'm on, and I agree with my TikTok.
I'm going to comment.
Well, maybe we'll have an episode talking about it. But today's episode, we're going to be talking about the idealized and performative, I would say, takes or advice that is, I feel like, laced with a lot of like self-help jargon that we see online, TikTok mainly. So we're going to be diving into that a little bit.
Yeah, TikTok, definitely. No one's watching Instagram Reels. And if you are, please stop. You can do better than that.
No, the word, like even worse.
Facebook Reels?
Facebook Reels. People who watch Reels on Facebook.
Why are you on Facebook?
What are you doing there?
Get out. Go home.
I mean, just go to Instagram, please.
Graduate to TikTok.
Ultimately, I mean, yeah, graduate to TikTok, but you know, like baby steps, leave Facebook, go to Instagram, and then slowly get into TikTok. So if you've ever tried to act mysterious or TikTok searched how to make a man chase you, then this episode's for you.
All of us. You know when Sabrina Carpenter's like, I don't relate to desperation. And she's like, actually, that's a lie. I do. We get it. But
Okay, let's be so real right now.
Yeah.
Have you ever Googled or like TikTok searched how to make a man chase you.
No, listen, what I've done is
lies.
Signs he likes me. They tell you things like if his feet are pointed at a 90-degree angle towards you. And I'm like, what is a 90-degree angle?
His feet are pointed away from me, so he probably hates me. Yeah. He doesn't want anything to do with
And then it's like if you speak and he laughs and smiles, I'm because I'm the funniest human being alive. So of course he's laughing.
Well, I mean, look, there are some tells,
am
like
I his
with body language,
or am I his wife? What's happening here? I don't know.
Can you be both? You could be the gesture and the wife, don't you think?
People let me know.
I mean, that's your dream, isn't it?
It's actually my dream. I have to be funnier. But real talk, we do have a problem with social media being full of tips, and they're usually targeted towards girls, let's face it, of like how to make him obsessed with you, how to make him fall for you.
Let him lead.
Be the black cat, let him be the golden retriever.
It's all being your feminine.
It's all these like just weird, like headliney, like words that don't actually mean anything, essentially.
I mean, look, there might be some truth to these concepts, but I feel like they're generalized themes and they are performative.
They're buzzwords.
I feel like, and they're buzzwords. They're being thrown around. They're not very specific to all dynamics. It's not a one size fits all for everyone. You know what I mean? So that is my issue with them, because it's like they're very generalized and they're being applied in I think sometimes harmful ways and misused. You know what I mean? We're going to get into that. But I think one of the questions that we are going to try to explore today is all of this rule-based advice actually helping, or are we just playing games and calling it empowerment?
I think we should start with just the rise in general. Like, I think the rise of the whole like rule-based dating advice situation thing.
Yeah.
I think TikTok is really what blew it out the ballpark for me. I don't think...
I mean, before TikTok, there was some on Instagram, and I would even argue there are like these blogs and like, you know, like websites.
There's been rules forever. Like there's
everything.
There's been actual books back in the day that everyone would read.
Why Men Love Witches with a capital B.
That's the one.
Get what I'm saying?
So, Why Men Love Witches with a capital B was popping on TikTok last year because a girl
we're trying to be halal.
Guys, we're trying to halalify for the babies who listen. It was popping on TikTok last year, okay?
Really?
Yes, a girl reread it. It was either last year or the year before. I think it was 2023. It was a girl reread it, and she would read chapter by chapter, and like she'd discuss it with the girly pops in the comments.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was not applicable anymore because it's
outdated.
It's outdated in the sense that if... You know, it's the whole like calling in 3 days. It's the whole like answering machine. Like it's things that we don't really do anymore.
Yeah.
But the idea in general is like, you know, let him chase you. Don't do the most. Be a bit mysterious. The ideas have always been there. But I just think now it's become blanket statements for everything. And it's generalizations that don't work because your situation is specific to your situation.
Yeah. And then we have the whole like sprinkle movement.
Yeah, share a 7.
Share a 7. Look, at first, like I don't get me wrong, I enjoy her content. Sometimes she says things that crack me up. Like one time, she was like answering a girl who was saying men want to be chased these days, and she was like, "Well, call the cops on him."
No, she's great comedic lines,
but. Should we take her seriously? Should we take her everything that she says like seriously?
Yeah, because if you actually think about it, it's rooted in power dynamics, right?
Yeah.
It's rooted in also, realistically speaking, quite materialistic things.
It's very materialistic. Like she basically teaches women, and she calls it empowerment, but she teaches women that you are the prize and that you should only focus on what men can offer you in terms of material things, in terms of money, because that's all you should care about, because men don't care about personality. Like she's literally said that, where she's like, oh, a man is not going to care about your personality.
She has a very transactional view of relationships.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's not just outdated, it's incredibly toxic. So, I mean, I don't know, like she's kind of like, whatever trauma she's seen, she's sort of preaching it as like the Bible now.
Yeah. And I feel like what it does is it teaches women how to be manipulative and form shallow relationships, or relationships based very much in like material and shallow like things, rather than like more meaningful.
Yeah, it's about extracting the value of a man rather than getting to know him and being with him and accepting him for who he is. It's very, it's just a bit shallow.
Which look, I get. I think for America, like they probably like resonate with it more because maybe like they have the whole like 50-50 like
Mentality.
mentality.
So does some parts in Europe. I mean, in the Netherlands, they're very 50-50 and all that about it.
Yeah.
But
which might work for some people. Like, who are we to say that it doesn't work? Some women are fine with it. Some men are fine with it. But like, I don't know. Like, I do agree that like the man mostly should provide.
I mean, look, 50-50, 70-30, 30-70, whatever you want to call it, it's going to work for you. But just this generalization that he has to pay for everything and provide, like I am the prize, like it's a bit like, okay, yeah, let's be realistic. What are you doing? You know, and that's the thing is you said it the other day, didn't you? You said, okay, but look where Cher is living. When we were commenting on her.
Yeah.
It's like, also, if you were really living that life, would you be looking this way? Would you be living in that way? Would you be on the internet like that?
Yeah. Also, like calling men or reducing men to like terms like dusties, like, oh, he's a dusty. I get it. Like, honestly, yeah, some men will fall into that category of like, he's a dusty. But there are men who might not have financial success, but have ambition and are working towards financial success. You know what I mean? Or like are trying to like have a career where they can thrive in. I do feel like the more of this content that we consume, we were talking about this yesterday. Remember when I'm telling you like, obviously your algorithm picks up that this is the content that you're engaging with. So it's going to show you more of this content. So then you're consuming a lot more of this content. And then this becomes your kind of like your sense of self, maybe.
Yeah.
Like it affects who you are. And you're and
You are
and I
what you
realized,
consume.
yeah, you are what you consume. And why are we letting men like? Why are we looking at them like they're guilty immediately? And they right out the gate, they have to prove themselves.
Yeah, it's also it affects, and that's, I mean, just to build on what you said, like it does affect you because you start to realize that you do it. So, for example, I would find myself in scenarios where I'd literally be side-eyeing guys, like, oh, what's he gonna do? You know, it's like I'm expecting the worst. Like, genuinely, I would be sitting there expecting the absolute worst and looking for it to the point where I am now. Not only am I looking for it, I'm trying to find it, you know? Like I'm in situations and I'm like, this is wrong and this is that. And it's all alabu. I'm protecting myself. I don't want to be fooled.
Yeah.
Protect yourself from what, girl?
No, but look, it's fair to think that because like we've talked about this too. Like every single woman that I know has been slighted or like has been wronged or hurt by a man. And a lot of men have been hurt by a girl as well, by a woman. As women, we are biased. We can only talk about our own experiences.
True.
We can listen to the men in our lives and we can try to understand. But what we know is our experiences. We know us and all our girlfriends have had experiences where horrible experiences with a man. And then we like take that trauma and run with it. And we give advice based on that trauma. We approach the next relationship based on that trauma.
Zainab, we literally walk around being like, you're guilty until proven innocent, rather than just be like, you're innocent until proven guilty. Like we're always on the fence at this point. And it's not just us. Honestly, it's the majority of the girlies.
Yeah.
Like you talk to your girls about a problem that you have with your man. What do they say? Leave him. No, I honestly, even I rarely side with the guy. I had to really push myself in the last few months to sit there and be completely fair and be like, hold up, babe. Are we listening to the fact that maybe he's going through something? Maybe he's scared of being hurt. Maybe he's traumatized.
Yeah.
Maybe he's also afraid of not being good enough. Like let's actually sit there and side with him for a moment because everything you're feeling, maybe he's also feeling.
Yeah. It's not just that. Like, yes, I know there are enough men in the world who have created somewhat of an unsafe space for women. You know what I mean? Like,
women go jogging at night and get stabbed.
Yeah, like men haven't really done much to make women feel safe. Like, I'm generalizing here because of like this like system in society that we have to this day, like that's patriarchal essentially. So yeah, it's not really built for women to really feel safe because we like, I think back in the day, like women weren't really out there like we are now.
No, women used to, you know, like in the West, women used to walk 100 years ago, women used to walk with a chaperone. Like they'd have to, like women of high caliber in society had to have like their maids walking with them because it was seen as like scandalous for a woman to be walking on her own because a man could just touch her or grab her or anything could happen to her. So it's like, yeah, 100%.
I mean, I would argue even like when I was growing up, it was always like you see girls have curfews. Like it's very normal in our region, like a 30-something-year-old girl, if she's unmarried, living at her parents' house, she has a curfew because as a woman, you cannot be seen at night, like, or a lot of times I think it is out of fear that you're putting yourself in danger, which honestly, I don't feel like there's any danger in Kuwait. Yani, alhamdulillah.
The driving.
The driving is any time of day. Like, at night it might get a little crazy. I feel like now it is getting a bit better.
Yeah.
But like in terms of other threats, Kuwait is very safe.
Kuwait is the safest country I've ever lived in my life. Like, it baffles me. Like, for example, if I'm in a cafe, I can just leave my computer, order, and come back. It is what? Like, what?
You can leave your phone, your laptop, your purse, anything.
In London, you'll be sitting in a cafe and they'll just take your computer from you. They will
right in front of your eyes.
You'll be fighting them.
I've literally heard stories of people getting robbed, like while they're sitting down, or like, and then they realize like someone was like literally just snatched their purse right from underneath them, which is insane. But yeah, like I feel like Kuwait is safe in certain ways, but like there are other ways where women are. I think maybe more in danger of being harassed. I think like we have that issue. We have been vocal about it. There have been movements and like people who are, trying to like advocate for like safety of women in this sense, where we're trying to like stop the harassment, which is quite a problem that we have.
It is.
But yeah, I think compared to other countries, like Kuwait is
compared to other countries, we're fine.
I think what we need to do is teach girls how to react in these situations instead of be like, like don't do that. Don't do this.
I think we have a duty to teach our girls how to react, and we have a duty to teach our boys not to harass girls.
Yeah. But back to the conversation, I think we've also seen a rise of like therapy speak when it comes to relationships. Like, oh, I'm just setting my boundaries. So if he doesn't like, try to take me out within 2 days, then I'm not talking to him ever again because that's my boundary. You know what I mean? Or like, I'm protecting my peace. So if he does one bad thing, instead of like trying to talk it out with him, I'm just going to cut him off. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I think it's not only is it a misuse of therapy speak. I think it's also a weaponization of self-love.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
you saying, I'm putting myself first. What's not being said is I don't owe you anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same with like, I can't do XYZ because I'm focused on me. That means what the unsaid is, so I don't care about what you're feeling. You know what I mean? It's this whole me thing. It's, yes, you have to put yourself first. Like, what's the example of the plane? Like, put your own mask on before you put the mask on someone else. But also be mindful. Like, the world does not just revolve around us. It's unfair.
I also think like there's nothing wrong with putting yourself first, right? Like self-love is actually a great thing. Like we preach self-love all the time, but obviously there are people who misunderstand what self-love is. They think like self-love means cutting people off. Self-love means not being there for your friends. Self-love, like, you know what I mean? They just have these like just distorted definitions of things. But if you are in a place where you are looking for marriage or you're looking to get into something serious, you cannot just sit there and be like, I'm putting myself first and it's just me and nobody else.
And avoiding accountability.
And avoiding accountability, which we'll get into in a bit. But like the problem is that you cannot have both. Like, yeah, I'm not saying let yourself go, but when you're trying to get into a relationship, you have to know when, you are focusing on yourself and then focusing on your partner and then focusing on the relationship and the dynamic itself. Like, you know what I mean? It has to ebb and flow. Like, it can't just be about you all the time. I do agree. Yes, women bring a lot to the table, but we also have to acknowledge what men bring to the table.
I think to build on that, I think ultimately you can't undermine genuine human connection by prioritizing like sort of like your personal convenience and like completely ignoring accountability in all of this, you know, like
accountability. I love that word.
but also that's a word that I think, which is funny enough, in all of this whole like TikTok highlight reel of words that mean absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
We've sort of forgotten accountability when it comes to ourselves.
No, we're honestly, we're guilty of this too, because we have these conversations all the time. And I think one thing that I love about the podcast is that we start these conversations, right? Like we started off, maybe like we've had episodes where we've generalized about men. Like my
100%.
favorite pastime hobby is generalizing about men, honestly.
My favorite pastime hobby is making fun of people. Men.
Specifically. But, you know,
but pause. But we don't hate men. Like, let's just get that clear, because I think some people have an idea that we're out here.
Yeah, but that's the
hating.
thing. Like, it's at the end of the day, it's the things that we say as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying, like, we're guilty of this, and we've also like fallen, I think, victim to the content that we consume, 100%. Where we sit there and we're like, all men are like this. All men are lazy. Men these days don't want to chase men, which might be true for
one man. 2 men, 3 men,
no,
20
like
men.
a number of men, maybe some men.
But like, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whether it's 1 or 100. It doesn't matter. It's still not enough to sit there and accept the brainwashing that we've gotten through these like subliminal messages.
Yeah, I mean, look, there is a lot of truth to it, but I feel like you just have to figure out what applies, what doesn't, what resonates, what doesn't. But like, as I was saying, like one thing that I love about this podcast is what it has done. It has allowed us to open up a lot of these conversations. So with that, we have conversations with people online and offline, and we've had these conversations with men and women, and we've gotten a chance to see like different takes on this. You know what I mean? And a lot of times the men that I speak to are like, women don't hold themselves accountable. And at first I'm like, no, men don't hold themselves accountable. No. But I think there might be some truth to that, because I do believe, like someone the other day commented, whether I agree with him or not, but it kind of made me think, where he was like, women these days have a heightened sense of self. And it's because of these, I think these like, performative like takes or whatever that are telling women that you are the prize, you are amazing. Yes, we are all of these things, but that doesn't mean that we are exempt, or that we do not hold ourselves accountable, or that we can be toxic.
Yes, which is why the term high value partner, I think, needs to go. Like as controversial as it is, I think it's so devaluing in reality. Like sitting there, be like, if you want a high value partner, what is a high value partner? You ask 10 different people, you get 10 different answers.
Yeah.
I think terms like this have to go, because essentially like what we've done is, you know, like with having the word dusty and the word high value and
scrub.
And
I don't want no scrub. I actually don't want a scrub. I really don't want a scrub.
No one does, but like your definition of a scrub might be so different to mine.
Yeah.
And we talk every day on the phone.
Look, no, I think what you're talking about, like at the end of the day, people are people. Like it's not just, oh, men, women, whatever. As a human being, you have to look at that person like as a human being. Are they evolving? Are they working on themselves? Have they gone through therapy? Have they identified their trauma? Are they working on their trauma? You know what I mean? And that's who you want to be associated with.
And you also don't want to exclude someone that's growing and working on themselves. When high value is used, usually it's to do with money. It is like, you know, financials rather than emotional. Great, he might be a baller. What if he's emotionally just unavailable?
Yeah.
He might have the career that you deem as like a high value, but he'll prioritize that career before you. Like there's so many pitfalls to just seeing one word and seeing what's underneath it as like, okay, everything can fall into that, and then completely ignoring like the non-superficial things, you know, because these terms, they tend to focus on the superficial, and they end up being like, I'm so sorry, but like mixed into this whole like, if you're a feminine woman, then you will attract a high value man. And then we start to think, what's a feminine woman? A gold digger?
Yeah.
Like,
or am I not a high value woman? Do I not deserve a man who treats me that way? You know what I mean?
The lines get so confusing.
It really is confusing. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like in this day and age, like just finding a partner or you know, relationship that's meaningful has become so confusing. And one thing I think that's made it worse is like, have you seen like these couples on like Instagram or like TikTok, or like these girls where they're posting like, I used to be a feminist, but now I'm a housewife because my husband buys me gifts and he spoils me and he gives me all this money. And then they take like pictures and videos of all the gifts and presents.
Or the girlfriends, you know, there's a lot of stay-at-home girlfriends that like my boyfriend this, my boyfriend that. And also like, I will say this is going to be so problematic. I think for a lot of people, I love F1, like a lot of people. I think the trend of like, I want to be a wag, like a wife and girlfriend of like an athlete or I guess a F1 driver, like essentially what we see is the social media of the wags. I love a lot of these wags. I think they're gorgeous. I think they're so sweet, but like wanting to be the girlfriend of a rich man and just traveling with them all day long and being pretty and wearing nice outfits, whilst I understand it looks fun on TikTok, like you do understand that what you are saying is you want to be someone's accessory, right? Like it's the lines are blurred. Like it's glamorizing being someone's something rather than being your own.
If that's what you want, that's fine.
Yeah, but the glamorization of it, especially for like,
for sure.
Because for us, khas, we're over the age. We know exactly that. Like, I'm sorry, like I'm not.
Don't tell me you did not want that life
when I was young.
Yeah.
No, I want to be Victoria Beckham.
Exactly.
I want to be a Spice Girl.
The
Pause.
OG wag.
Pause. Make no mistake. I want to be Posh Spice. I was like, first of all, I want to be her. Like and sorry, he was Mr. Posh Spice to me. David Beckham?
He was not David Beckham.
David Beckham.
The soccer player.
No, he was Posh Spice's husband.
Posh Spice.
He was her handbag.
He was Mr. Posh Spice.
And it's only for the outfits. I was like, oh, he dresses like nice like her and they match outfits. That's what I want. I want to be her. It's not about being his. It was being her.
Yeah.
But the reality is if you're 14 years old, 15 years old, and you don't realize that you're looking
a snack. Sorry.
A snack, having a snack. Get it away from the mic. So breakdown.
Okay.
Essentially, this is a small person, a small child. Her head is still not formed. She doesn't understand what she's looking at. I'm begging my I'm begging my head. I'm like, your head. No, but her brain isn't formed. She wants to be the girlfriend of a famous athlete or race car driver. Babes, if he breaks up with you, all that goes away.
Yeah. And then what have you done for yourself? But you know what I'm over? I'm over this whole mentality of like, feminists ruined it for us. Like, I used to be a feminist, but now I'm a stay-at-home girlfriend or I'm a stay-at-home wife. Who's to say that you can't be a feminist and a stay-at-home girlfriend or a wife? And that's my issue, is that like people are like, they weaponized feminism so much to the point that now it's gotten a bad rep. Do you agree with that?
Fully agree, babe. Like feminism is a socio-political movement at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like feminism is purely about equality of the sexes.
Now it's become an ideology of like man hating. Like,
yeah. It's like you can be a feminist and never have worked a day in your life, but advocate for wanting the same salaries for everyone. What's wrong with that? Kefich.
You can be a feminist and choose to stay at home and have your man pay for everything and spend on you. You should still be a feminist.
Honestly, like that's the thing. It's like the blanket statement of feminism doesn't mean anything. Also, at the core of it, like I just think in general, using socio-political terms to sort of place yourself in a plot of society doesn't make sense anymore, because these terms, as the years go by, they change.
They change,
you know?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
A feminist in 2024 or 2025 is not the same as it was 50 years ago. We're fighting different fights, but we're still fighting the fights of we just want equality between both. Yeah. We're not saying we're the same. We're not the same, but we deserve equal rights.
Yeah, but we've talked about this a lot. Like I've told you how I feel about this, where I think, well, yeah, like we obviously we wouldn't be where we are right now if it wasn't for feminism or
100%.
the OG feminists. 100%. You know what I mean? We wouldn't be able to wear these pants and sit here and have these mics
and vote
and speak our minds if it wasn't for feminism. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I do also feel like there is a big player. This is me and my conspiracies. Mm. There is this big player. We don't know who.
The man. Big brother.
Illuminati, maybe. I don't know. No, I'm kidding.
I think Big Brother.
Big Brother? Mm. Yeah, probably Big Brother.
I want this.
I think they're trying to attack the nuclear family.
Real.
For sure. And I feel like what they do is they weaponize these movements, like these movements that are meant to help a marginalized group. They take them and they inflate them so much, and they push them down people's throats. In a way, like they repackage them, they market them. Like that's why, like when we were growing up, notice the music and the media that we were listening to, like Miss Independent, I don't need a man, my lady's independent, like you can't buy this for, like, you know what I mean?
All the single ladies.
All the single ladies, like all of these songs that have
single ladies. Oh, you have to do the shout out for us.
All of these like songs or whatever, they might be like all just fun and games, you know, or like we just don't think it's that serious, but
it's serious.
It is serious because look at the generation that we have now, like this fake like oh, like we're like breaking glass ceilings and all of that, like, you know what I don't know why every time I say it in this tone of voice, breaking glass ceilings, but the truth is, like, don't you feel like feminism has been shoved in people's faces so much that it's gotten a bad reaction, and I feel like that was intentional? Do you not feel that?
No, I agree 100%. I mean, you even see it in TV shows. Like, I don't need to be consuming media all day long that tells me that I'm a strong, independent woman. I don't need a man. I know I don't need a man. Wallah, no one needs anything. But we created you in pairs is real to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to end up alone. When Nader asked me, do you want to be alone?
Like that was triggering, Nader.
No, honestly, it was because it was like, no, I don't want to end up alone. I'm in no rush to get married. It's one thing. But yeah, of course I would want marriage down the line. If it happens, it happens. That'd be great. I'm not looking for it actively, but you know what I mean? Like it's there, we can have a balance of things.
I mean, obviously, like nobody wants to be alone. And I feel like anybody who says that they're fine with being alone, like, look, don't get me wrong. Like, I enjoy my single life. Yeah. I feel like married people look at single people and they're like, oh, you have the freedom of time and whatever. But there's also something so beautiful about like building a family,
coming home
to someone. I say that as someone who's been married before, you know what I mean? And even though I didn't have a great life with my ex-husband, like I miss these little things.
Grocery shopping with someone is fun. Like, can we just be so honest?
Real.
It's so fun. Like,
it is.
Can we get these chips? Like,
yeah. And then like having your snacks together, little snackies. That's so lame. We're so single right now. But I think another trope that we see on the internet is the main character energy, which I feel like
that pisses me off so much.
Yeah, basically, it's kind of like the weaponizing self-love in a way, where it's like this relationship is only about me. I'm the only one that matters because I'm the main character.
But speaking of media, don't you think that comes from like the 2000s rom-com, where like, you know, like obviously please root for yourself in life. In your life, root for yourself.
Yeah.
But the same way you'd root for the main character in the rom-com. But do you remember the 2000s rom-com with the main character and everything works out in her favor? Yeah. And everyone was a freaking accessory to her? Yeah. Like everyone really was a background character back in the 2000s when you'd watch a movie about a girl.
Yeah.
I think that's translated in people's lives. I think people walk around actually thinking like, I'm the main character of my life. I'm the main character, as if it's like a single player game. By the way, like life is a multiplayer game. What do you call those? MMO? It's an MMO. It's not a single player game, guys. Like there's other people.
I love how Mia knows like the player, the gamer jargon.
Don't damn me.
The gamer lingo.
Don't ask me about it.
I'm a gamer.
I'm not.
I'm not like other girls. I'm a gamer.
I am not. I don't even know what that is.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know how. I actually do know. I have gamer friends. I don't talk about it.
Just say you do and you'll gain a lot of followers.
I don't know if she wants those followers.
I don't want the people.
This is obviously a very nuanced topic and it's so complicated. I think we're figuring it out as we go as well. Like you and I constantly have these conversations and
every day,
every single day. Yep. From the minute we wake up till the moment we go to sleep. Yeah. we're talking.
We're updating. This happened.
This happened. So I changed my stance on this.
I'm a new person.
I saw this TikTok and it's kind of influenced me in a way. So I think I'm a new person. I changed my mind. But that's real. That's life. You're constantly changing. But I think at the same time, we kind of pull from our own experiences and we have a lot of these conversations. And honestly, like, I do also like bounce things back with my therapist a lot of times. Like, you know what I mean? Because we do get caught up in this. But I think the main idea is to like kind of ask the question, like, are we building healthy relationships? Are we actually trying to create healthy relationships
together as a collaboration rather than like playing these like sort of like tactical games.
Yeah. Or are we just being manipulative and trying to micromanage love? You know what I mean? So you guys let us know your thoughts in the comments. I think we are probably going to have a lot more episodes about this topic.
I think we have to.
Yeah.
People like it when we talk about this.
Yeah,
except when they get mad.
Let's not go there. But you know where we should go?
So let's get spicy.
Let's get spicy. We're going to hear what you guys had to say about this topic.
So a few weeks ago, we asked you guys, is leaning into your feminine energy, being mysterious, letting him chase, empowering, or just old school dating repackaged? And honestly, we've never had such a divisive answer. 33% said empowering, it's about knowing your worth. 31% said old school, sounds like playing games to me. And 36% said I like the concept, but it's not for everyone.
That's real. We've never had like that kind of split.
I know.
Where it's almost like
even. It's all in the 30s.
Yeah. That's crazy.
What do you think of it? Is leaning into your feminine energy, being mysterious and letting him chase, empowering, or just old school dating repackaged?
I think I voted I like the concept, but it's not for everyone because, I mean, we're going to get into this later because I feel like if it's not genuine, then it's not going to work.
I agree.
The next question we asked is, do you think being mysterious and letting him lead aligns with modern empowerment for women? And the majority, 45%, said it's about balance and leaning back at times. 29% said, yes, it's about letting men prove themselves. And 26% said, no, it's about being authentic, not strategic.
What do you think?
I think it's about balance for sure. Like, I do agree that you have to have a level of mystery, but it cannot be like, how do I explain it?
You can't overdo it.
Not just you can't overdo it. Like if it doesn't come naturally to you, then that's a problem. So you have to figure out the root cause of you not being mysterious, you feeling the need to share everything with someone. You know what I mean?
And then last, we had, does embracing feminine energy make men interested? And 55%, the majority, said it only works if you vibe with it naturally. 28%, yes, it shifts the dynamic, attracts effort. And 17% said, no, it's a myth. Mutual interest matters more. I agree with it. If you're naturally like that, it works. If not, it looks performative.
Yeah. And if you're a woman, you're naturally going to have feminine energy or feminine traits or whatever. Like, and it's okay if you don't. Like, who's to decide what is feminine and what's not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we asked you guys, now this is where it gets fun. We asked you guys, what's the cringiest thing you've ever done to seem mysterious while dating?
I just want to say, someone decided to attack me. Someone said, I'm going to assume Mia's one, I think, is playing Mustafa's Place in the drive at night of Shar al-Hub. First of all, I don't even know how to drive. Second of all, I'm not in Shar al-Hub. I want to go and I want to film and I want to comment. Like, I want to be a narrator, like an Australian. But the male is approaching the female. He's
like Discovery Channel?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, if you're trying to find love on Shar al-Hub, you need to do some reflecting.
Also, Mustafa's like quite sad. I'm not pulling with Mustafa, but thank you.
All right, my favorite was staring at the wall for a long time to give the illusion that I have many things to think about and that you really need to put effort to entering my mysterious brain. And the guy didn't care at all. I think that's
relatable.
That's
like,
relatable.
Have you ever like, you know, when you're so young, like you're a teenager, you pretend like you're thinking of something so important and you just look to the side like you're thinking, like I'm a thinker. I last 10 seconds and I start laughing, of course.
Yeah. No, and my favorite is when people misunderstand what it's like being mysterious. Like, I'm mysterious. I will not tell him my real name. I'm mysterious. I'm never going to tell him my age. I'm mysterious. I'm not going to tell him where I work. And I'm like, ma'am, that's not what being mysterious is about.
A girly pop said, started reading psychological books. Honestly, that is mysterious to me. If I saw someone reading a book of psychology, I'd be like, ooh, mysterious. So that would work on me.
Some girl said, never said where or when I'm going out. I just say I was sleeping while I'm having fun. Honestly,
smart.
Not to enable toxic behavior. Look, see, you guys, this is what we mean.
Yeah.
We change our mind constantly.
No, but like, you know,
evolving, devolving. Like,
he'd hold it against me, be like, you were out. And so she's like, I was asleep. Actually, me, I'm a sleeper. Someone very intelligently said, if you have to seem mysterious to win someone's interest, they're not for you. Bye. Real. Honestly, do you think someone thinks we're mysterious? No.
I don't.
No, they don't.
I like to think I'm mysterious.
Mysterious girl.
I really like. I feel like you and I are fake open. That's definitely what
Let's not tell the people.
Never mind. The last one. I said that I'm half African / British only because I was bored of answering the same question.
I relate. Lie. So much more fun. People don't remember anyways.
I mean, if you don't care about that person, or if you know you're never going to see them again, then
what do you mean? People don't remember what you said on the first date.
Some people do, Mia.
I don't. So,
all right, well, you guys, we've really enjoyed your Let's Get Spicy responses. Keep them coming, please.
Don't stop getting spicy with us.
There were some more, but obviously we can't read everyone's. But we encourage you guys to interact.
We love you
Engage.
long time.
We love you long time.
Okay, so all in all, do you think it's healthy to have all these terms or like not?
I mean, no, not really. Like generally, like not really. Not when it's super generalized like this.
And not when it's taken that seriously. I think like ultimately, I think, look, I love TikTok. As you guys know, I have a doctorate on TikTok.
PhD.
PhD holder. But it's an app. Okay. It's not, these people are not therapists. These people are not licensed. Some people are, but for the most part, they're just influencers. They are like it's like getting advice about fitness from an influencer that doesn't have an actual like degree in nutrition or fitness. Like, like it's a bit risky, isn't it? You know, like what works for one person might not work for you. Use your brain.
Use your brain. I think also like it's dangerous when you take them literally or like they're universal and you just apply them. You know what I mean? So I do believe that it really does promote, I can't speak, promote emotional avoidance.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Not just emotional avoidance. I feel like it turns dating into like mind games. It turns it into like a very
transactional. It's transactional. Yeah.
It makes dating very transactional. Like if he does this for me, then I'll accept. If he doesn't, then he's not worth it. Like it just ruins the whole thing. You know, it's not even enjoyable anymore.
And it often I think makes you suppress like genuine emotion and like you try not to show interest in someone. And a lot of times when you try not to show interest in someone, well, guess what?
He's not gonna be interested.
Yeah, he's not gonna be interested. He's like, you might ruin something good for yourself because he will probably be genuinely interested. And then he's gonna feel like, oh, or she maybe, like, you know, this goes both ways, obviously, because we have also seen examples of men online, you know, giving the worst advice, like Andrew Tate. I hope he stays locked up for a very long time. Is he
in jail still?
I think so. Is he?
No. They removed the case.
Oh.
Ugh. Well, I hope he doesn't come back online. But wouldn't you argue that like Shara 7 is kind of like
she's definitely the female Andrew Tate.
She's the female version of Andrew Tate.
Comes in with hot takes and full confidence. That alone to me is like Andrew Tate energy.
Which is supposed to be empowering, but at the same time I feel like it's
not empowering. It's not empowering
to
like
have
it's regressive.
Woman,
it's so regressive to have a woman tell us, he's a dusty if he doesn't pay for ABC. Shut up. Well, shut up.
Or for example, for example, she was like, oh, like if he asks you to take down his number, ask him if you could take down his credit card number. Like,
ew. If you do, please, no one do that. No one do that. Boy, girls, please don't do that.
Don't you think this is more of a westernized?
I think listen, I think first of all these people, they're from the West ultimately.
Yeah.
You know, like these are not, I don't want to be like, these are not our values, but like, they're not really our values. It's not how we work.
We have our own struggles.
Yeah.
We have our different struggles that we're dealing with.
And I mean, you and I have both lived outside. Like life outside is different. You do things differently, but ultimately, like, I just feel like I would rather enjoy dating someone and getting to know them than having to sit there and have psychological warfare.
Exactly. Like, and like just be insecure and your partner being insecure and then just not developing a healthy dynamic. You're just playing games
and pulling out an abacus and a compass to measure his degree angle of how he's sitting. And if he's marrying me, please, I can't.
I think what it also does is I feel like it plays into like the gender stereotypes. Like it's very heteronormative. You know what I mean? Like where it's like a man has to do this, a woman has to do that. And it seems like outdated at times, don't you think?
If I'm dating someone, if I'm married to someone and they lose their job, what am I going to say? No, you still have to pay the bills. No, well, he can't. So I'll have to deal with that. Okay. Like that's life. Life is not just this, like a straight line. Life is ups and it's downs. And in a relationship, it's collaborative and you can want someone to be the main provider. That is your choice. We're not here to comment on that. You can want to split everything 50-50, but ultimately making your relationship about what the person can do for you rather than what you guys can do together will only hinder your relationship.
Exactly. I think ultimately it's about mutual effort, communication, and respect.
And understanding.
It's you're working together, not against each other.
100%. And all of these things, I think they put you in a position where you are working against each other. You know, you're constantly being like strategic. If this is not chess, he's not gonna try and get the queen. And no.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of times it can also be misused to justify manipulation
100%.
or toxic behavior.
100%.
Which is what we're seeing. And a lot of people are walking around like acting like this, like manipulative, showcasing toxic behavior. And they're like, and it's normalized. And it's like, no, I just know my worth. I have a great sense of self. I'm self-assured. These are great. Know your worth. Be self-assured. But that doesn't mean that you can go around manipulating and hurting other people for no reason other than them being from the opposite gender.
But because of, I think, the manipulation that we see and how people like to manipulate each other, I mean, it's entertaining, right? That's why we have so many dating shows nowadays, because it's entertaining to watch people date and try and manipulate each other. I mean, whether it's Love Island or Love is Blind or The Ultimatum or Too Hot to Handle or all of what's available on the internet, it's entertaining because it's not just happy and healthy and normal and people getting to each other. It's all games.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you agree with this statement?
You sound so serious. Do you agree with this statement?
Do you agree with this statement?
I feel like I'm in court right now. I feel like I'm a witness.
The court of sprinkles and spice.
The court of sprinkles and spice. Where's our gavel?
Do you feel like that by placing the responsibility entirely on men to chase, invest, and lead ignores the fact that relationships are partnerships?
100%.
And that our women are being reduced to being passive participants?
100%. 100%. If I'm sitting there, because if I'm sitting there and letting the man tell me what we are and what we're not and what we're doing, then I'm literally a passenger princess in my own relationship. No.
I want to be a passenger princess. I don't want to make decisions.
I don't, you know, as much as I am a passenger princess because I don't know how to drive in the relationship, no, I want to be like, let's lead together. Like, it's so much more nice. It's collaborative. Like, and you build something that's so much more like authentic to you rather than authentic to the person.
Look, there are moments where
you lean back. 100%.
You know what I mean? At the same time,
is 100%. God,
100%. That's how she says it. 100%. Let's like kind of get into like if there's any truth into that, like the psychology of men and women, because we do know that we are different in our nature and we have different needs. I do also believe that men have certain needs where they need to feel like they are
taken care of.
Not just taken care of, like they need to, like I see a lot of men being like, I'm the leader of this household, which like, you know, it sounds ridiculous, but you know what? Sometimes I'm just like, you know what?
Okay, lead.
But guess what? Like that line in My Big Fat Greek Wedding that I love so much.
That's her favorite line on earth.
The man is the head. The woman is the neck, and she can turn the head any way she wants. You want to feel like you're the leader? Go ahead. Be my guest. Yes. Yeah. You're the man of this house. Guess what? I am the woman of this house. And I will make you do whatever I want. You will lead in the direction that I tell you to lead.
No, but it's like, Yeah, there are moments. First of all, there are moments where, yeah, I need you to take a lead on something because guess what? I don't want to use my brain. I'm tired. And also, there are things that you're just going to be naturally better at. Just like there are moments where I should take the lead because guess what? I'll be better at something else. I think ultimately it's collaborative. It's a relationship. It's give and it's take.
Yeah.
Sometimes, مشي الليلة. خلاص, fine. You want to get your word in. You want to get the last word. Get it, king. Get it, queen. And sometimes it's my turn. Like it's so much of a push and pull. And I remember everyone that I've ever spoken to that's been married, whenever I'm like, so what's it like now? Nah, there's the same thing. They're like, you're gonna have to pick your fights.
Choose your battles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's true. I really believe in that. And it's like you said, like, you can be the head, she'll be the neck. And sometimes he'll be the neck and she'll be the head. Like, that's just the way life is gonna be. And ultimately, we said it earlier, men are so good at certain things. Women are good at certain things. I think men like to be nurtured. They don't know how to nurture as much as a woman does traditionally.
Yeah.
And women, honestly, we like to feel safe. We like to feel taken care of. Even Nader said it. Women like to feel safe. We do.
Yeah. I mean, there is also some truth in like what we said earlier. Like, it is harder for women these days to feel safe. But I feel like instead of sitting here and attacking men, let's try to educate them and raise awareness on it, like in hopes that, enough men will want to like invest in developing and evolving and working on themselves. You know what I mean? But I do also feel like a lot of this advice has some truth to it. Like, there is some psychological truth to it. But like, for example, like being like, don't chase, whatever. What I think they're trying to say is like, have self-respect. You know what I mean? Don't be too available.
Yeah.
Because obviously, even in friendships, and I don't think this is just like strictly applicable when it comes to relationships, but like even in friendships, when a friend is overly available, they're constantly calling you, trying to go out with you and not respecting your time or your schedule or whatever, you kind of get put off.
Yeah, you're like, ew, this person is so clingy.
Yeah.
The same way you would someone that was trying to date you that was doing that. You're like, oh my God, you not have a life? Are you crazy? What's going on?
Immediately, like, that kind of brings their value down because you're like, you kind of don't respect yourself. You know what I mean? So that's what we should work on. Like, we have to find the root cause of these issues that are making you act that way instead of, like pretending. Because at the end of the day, you're only going to be able to pretend until you get the man. But then when you're with the man, what are you going to do?
Nothing.
Pretend for the rest of your life?
Nothing. You can't. Like, this is where it ends. And that's why, like, not to be that person, but like, that's why we are more single than ever. Like, as a generation, people are more single than ever because either they're getting divorced or they're just not being their person because they're just not communicating. They're not being who they are. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's all this jargon on the internet. Like, it's led us apart.
Yeah. And I think when they say like, be mysterious, like, it's the same thing. It's like, self-respect is attractive.
Don't be overly available.
Not just don't be overly available. Don't just overshare. Don't just constantly give up information. Like, you have to, in anything in life, you have to suss people out.
Agreed.
Before you give people access to you. This isn't just, again, like, this isn't just applicable to relationships. This is applicable to everything in your life. Like, you're not just going to meet a stranger and then tell them everything about your life. So why would you do it in a relationship setting when you're first trying to meet someone? You know
and
what
even
I mean?
when you're with them, like, keep it shway mysterious. Like, just because you're with the person doesn't mean like that effort goes to waste or that little, keep your boundaries. Keep your boundaries.
That's what it is. I think it is boundaries.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times we kind of confuse boundaries and standards with expectations. And I feel like when you have expectations, you're immediately setting yourself up for failure. And it's not fair for you or for the person that you're with.
Especially if you don't communicate these expectations.
Yeah.
I think you have to communicate. So in conclusion, live, laugh, love.
Authentically. I think ultimately, like, I think try to evolve as a person rather than think of like, how can I get this man? I think look into the root of your issues, your childhood trauma, recognize that, go to therapy, use your brain, like
buy the merch.
No, just be yourself, be authentic. And I think focus on yourself rather than
taking TikTok advice. all day long.
Yeah.
Do less.
Yeah.
Do less. Actually, do less. Do less.
Do less.
Do less is the advice we have.
Maybe take the advice of a therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, that's all the time we have today. If you enjoyed this episode,
like, comment, subscribe, leave a review. Anything less than 5 stars, and you will end up alone, and that's a guarantee.
Wow.
I'm joking. Disclaimer. What's the disclaimer on this? Allegedly.
Allegedly. All right, you guys. We will see you next Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.